Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and I am all kinds of excited right now because today, my friends, today we are looking at the 1995 tour de force known as Ice Cream Man. This movie won a YouTube poll I made asking which older one-off you wanted to see on the Kill Count. And fuck am I glad it did, because this boy is a double scoop delight of hot fudge fuckery. We're talking straight cookies and cray-cray here, dog. It's got everything you want in a B-movie slasher. So it's kind of like the antithesis of Jack Frost. Directed by a porn director and co-written by a pair of USC students, one of them, the future writer-director of Wedding Crashers, Ice Cream Man sees Clint Howard as a deranged ice cream man who tries to kill a bunch of kids. And the kids are like actual kids, which is great. No 20-somethings playing teenagers here, just straight up adolescents, making this feel like the Goonies, only with more decapitations and eyeballs. Plus, Olivia Hussey of the original Black Christmas and the Don't You Want It miniseries plays an elderly caretaker, all made up as though she wasn't one of the most radiant women who ever lived. That's crazy enough, but thankfully, the kills are somehow even crazier. Here, I'll show you. The movie begins with a drive-by. Wait, what? Yeah, dude, right off the bat, we've got an ice cream man getting gunned down by some Capone-looking gangsters in black and white. Holy shit, the opening credits aren't even through, and we're already watching the greatest movie ever made. This that good shit, yo. A young boy named Gregory takes a curbside seat next to the ice cream man's corpse and asks his fretting mother the real hard-hitting questions.
Who's gonna bring me ice cream, Mommy?
Why, you are, young Gregory, because this black and white cold open is a goddamn origin story. In the more saturated present, a denim-vested kid named Roger takes some money out of his mom's purse and runs outside to head the line at the ice cream truck, where we meet an adult Gregory played with exquisite creepiness by Ron Howard's younger brother, Clint Howard.
You didn't say please.
Maybe worry less about manners and more about hygiene, my ice cream dude, because that pistachio is looking pretty piss nasty, yo. Among his customers are our protagonists, these Stephen King kid characters who call themselves the Rocketeers. They include generic boy Johnny, generic girl Heather, and generic nerd Small Paul. The fourth member is a kid named, no joke, fucking Tuna, and is the best part of this movie because he's referred to as a fat kid even though it's clearly a kid with a pillow stuffed under his shirt.
Oh, gross, Tuna.
Tuna, you eating sand, kid. The fuck's wrong with you? This movie ain't afraid of themes either, since Small Paul tells the others about his latest literary dive, The Pied Piper, which is of course about a dude who got kids to follow him better than those weird creepy YouTube channels. You know what I'm talking about. Roger's also at this park, but he ain't no Rocketeer, the fucking loser. So after the other kids all leave and a garbage picker in the park triggers some real painful memories in Gregory's fucked up head, we know that Roger's in trouble, no matter what the ice cream man says.
Ice cream man feels, very happy.
That sounds like some evil speak to me. When Gregory gets home that night, a dog named Binky starts barking at him, so he pulls out a push-pop blade and kills the poor pooch off screen, though his whines are heard by his owner, Nurse Wharton. Hello, nurse. She has a window side chat with Gregory to a leitmotif that plays incessantly throughout this movie.
Happy day, Nurse Wharton.
He says that he hasn't seen Binky anywhere, and when she asks about the blood on his face, he allays any suspicions with a quick little taste test.
It's grenadine for my ice cream treats.
But yo, Gregory's a fucking liar, and you'd best look away if you don't want to see a dead dog, cause real quick, aw, Binky's in a grinder of some sorts. Damn, Gregory's fucked up. And I ain't even shown all the shots of Binky's ground up corpse, which expertly match dissolves to a family meatloaf dinner. That's friggin' art right there. That dinner is for Johnny's family, which includes his Dodgers dad, Mr. Clean, and his older brother, Jacob, a wannabe cop who's a dick about his little bro's friends.
Tuna.
Jake had better get used to the taste of tuna though, cause after their mom gets a call about how little Roger is missing, she tells Johnny that he's not allowed out after dark, and Jacob that he has to take his little bro to the movies tomorrow.
I'm definitely not going to a G film.
Yeah, movie, that was a good time to fade to black, why not? Gregory is sleeping in a sand garden and having dreams about a clown who keeps chanting the word happy, and a younger looking Nurse Wharton who keeps feeding him instant mashed potatoes. Present day Nurse Wharton wakes him up out of his midday nap and sniffs at his garden, even though it's nothing but plastic flowers. When she gives him an ice cream order, he's like, you got it, and heads off through the neighborhood in his truck. He gets stopped by some cops who ask him if he knows anything about the missing kid Roger.
No. Have any leads?
It's classified, Ice Cream Man. It's classified.
Yeah, forget it, Ice Cream Man. It's classified. Of course, before the cops leave, Gregory's got to give them some of his nasty hardpack ice cream that has a bunch of store-bought lab mice crawling around in it. Oh, and eyeballs. Mmm, delicious eyeballs. Oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, no, Gregory. Oh, gross, man. He freaking packs that eyeball scoop inside the ice cream and gives it to the cop to chow down on.
Mmm, what's in it?
Who asked what's in ice cream? Why would he do that?
It's classified, officer.
classified.
Oh, that's why, for a callback. That works. Also, might as well have a close-up on this dude chewing on an eyeball. Great. After their day trip to the movies, the kids all head to Tuna's dad's office. His pops, Martin, is president of something, judging by that placard of his, but I think that's only by day. I bet this dude's a lot more interesting when there's a full moon out. Oh, also, peep that last name, yo. Casera? Tuna Casera? Tuna Casera? Anyway, it looks like Martin is making it with a hussy in this movie that's not named Olivia. Yep, he's having a secret affair with local homewrecker Wanda, a character so saucy she gets her own conga drum theme music. She senselessly flirts with Gregory, even though, like, no, until Tuna makes a hilarious fart noise behind her. That clears her out of the line so our Rocketeers can put it in order. When Gregory goes to get their order, we finally see hard-pack evidence that a murder did indeed take place. Right now, it's kind of an indiscernible freezer-burned body, but later we see that it's the dude who was picking up garbage in the park. I think they left it ambiguous at first, so you'd think it was poor little Roger. But, oh yeah, spoiler, it's not. Gregory ends his day by flashing back to his time at the Wishing Well Sanitarium, where a happy, happy, joy, joy mantra was drilled into his brain.
There are no bad days, Gregory. Only happy, happy, happy days.
That night, Heather gets home and introduces a real weird side plot where her mom acts like she's possessed by an archangel. Yeah, that's what an angel possession looks like, sure. At least Heather's dad, the local reverend, thinks so. He's played by David Warner, who you may know from The Omen, or perhaps as Sydney's drama professor in Scream 2. Producer David Goldstein worked really hard to get established character actors in the supporting cast, thinking it would help make this movie a success. It didn't work. Small Paul winds up at the ice cream truck by himself after dark, where Gregory is, what, shadowboxing in a parking lot? Kinda weird, but Gregory placates Paul by offering him a free scoop of his favorite flavor, butter brickle. But after he hands the cone over, Gregory drops the bloody garbage picking spear on the ground, and Small Paul sees it. Oh, don't worry about that, little boy. It's just my grenadine stick. The two of them have a 5-alarm stare down, and the next thing you know, Tuna is washing ashore behind a dumpster and seeing Small Paul get small hauled into the ice cream truck. Zoinks! Gregory notices Tuna and his shoes, but before he can cast another kid-sized net, Tuna swims away in a panic.
You little turds are gonna have to learn you can't run from the ice cream man!
Tuna winds up underneath a tree where he finds Roger, the incredible missing kid, who, like I mentioned earlier, isn't dead after all. Tuna heads home where his mom insists on a very plot-driven house rule of taking your shoes off out on the porch. Small Tuna tries to tell his parents about Small Paul, but their mouths are too busy having an argument about Big Tuna and that affair he's been having with a fish called Wanda. From his window upstairs, Tuna sees that the ice cream man has found out where he lives thanks to those porch shoes. Man, oh man, Toon, how you gonna get out of this? Oh, we're fading to black again, great. The next day, while grocery shopping with his mom, Tuna is confronted by Gregory, who's got nothing but smiles for him. Oh, and a dastardly turn from the shoulder. Swim, Tuna, swim! Nothing like a grocery store chase scene where stunt doubles get metal racks to fall on them, and your shirt pillow gets all bunched up against your chin. And it wouldn't be complete without Tuna making his getaway on the underside of a cart. Smooth, kid. That lady pushing it definitely didn't feel the additional weight of you in that shirt pillow. In the store's office, a tearful Tuna is reunited with his mom, and he finally tells her about the ice cream man. Curtain down on Act 1. Act 2 starts with Gregory powdering his plastic sunflowers when a whole squadron of police cars pay him a visit. They've got a search warrant and an appetite for destruction, so they go inside Gregory's Paradise Cream City and give an anything goes approach as they tear the place up. It's so easy when you're carrying around a bunch of fire axes, you know? They aren't able to find anything though, so they leave Gregory alone in his melted soupy ice cream mess. Sorry, sweet ice cream man o' mine. Nurse Wharton comes outside to yell at the cops for their ice cream man abuse.
Serve and protect my ass.
Yes ma'am, we'd certainly like to. On his way out, Detective Gifford compliments the garden.
Those daisies are magnificent. How do you do that?
What? Those are plastic flowers, right? I'm not the crazy one here, am I? Back inside, Gregory makes sure that Chekhov's giant nut chopper blade still works before heading into his secret kidnapping cubby and fetching Small Paul. But he's not trying to hurt Pequeño Pablo here. He just wants to give him more nasty, melty ice cream. Wow, free ice cream. You can just see the excitement on that kid's face. Heather's dad gives the town your standard sermon, and afterward, the kids talk to Roger pretty glibly about Small Paul's potential demise.
Don't worry. There might be an opening in the Rocketeers.
Damn, dude, Rocketeers fill their empty seats faster than Congress. And no wonder, look how they roll. They've got the whole damn deal going. Face paint, black berets, freaking rockets on their bikes? Oh, Rocketeers, I get it. They're out Harriet the spying on ice cream man since the adults in their life ain't worth shit. Again, there's a very Stephen King feel to this movie, and I think it works great. They watch from behind some shrubbery as Gregory takes a large wrapped object to a gravesite and starts stabbing at it with a kitchen knife. But turns out it's just a bunch of ice cream cones on a very wastefully large serving tray that Gregory leaves out for Butch Brickle, the ice cream king who we watched get gunned down in that black and white cold open. I guess he was Gregory's idol. The kids leave to follow Ice Cream Man, but Tuna ends up following behind, so Johnny doubles back to find him while Heather sneaks aboard the SS ice cream truck and starts taking pictures of everything inside, including Small Paul's glasses. Johnny finds Tuna and they race to get back to Heather, but then they run into the cops and Tuna friggin' fires off that rocket at them. Wow, kid, you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
This isn't a game, boys.
Yeah, it's a DS, as in double scoop. The next day, Heather drops her film off to get developed, which is something you used to have to do back in the day. Occasionally, that could lead to embarrassing situations, like the one you're about to see, because that camera belonged to Johnny's brother Jacob, and the pictures he had been taking with it weren't exactly safe for work, as his girlfriend Janet sees through the photo place's front window? What? That's one hell of a breach of privacy, store. Gregory peeps in on Wanda, who he sees finishing up with Tuna's dad. But don't worry, Gregory, Big Tuna was just the entree, and she's ready for dessert. BT goes to leave, but finds that he's being blocked in by the ice cream truck, and when he goes to kick some ice cream ass, he gets a face full of waffle griddle that sears his skin in a delicious gridlock pattern. I guess Gregory would not like to be a pepper too, Martin. As if the kill wasn't great enough already, Gregory then delivers Martin's head to Wanda on a deluxe-sized waffle cone. Man, I love this stupid fucking movie. Wanda screams at the sight of her dead paramour's head, and to quiet her down, Gregory simply whacks her with what I think was the detached blade of an ice cream machine or something? I don't know. It's an off-screen death with a blood splash. It's, you know, pretty standard. Back at the ice cream factory, Gregory's teaching Stockholm Paul how to make ice cream, having him stir one vat while he sifts through another looking for body chunks and jewelry. Look at you, Gregory. You're a regular 49er. Oh, also, I love that he finds a diaphragm in there. That's a fun little joke I missed as a kid. Looking for more information on both Gregory and Nurse Wharton, the detectives head to the Wishing Well Sanitarium, where we finally get some acknowledgement of the synthetic flora Gregory keeps.
Why all the plastic flowers?
Because real ones die.
Thank you. I was seriously worried that I was losing it for a minute. But no, turns out I'm not the crazy one here at all.
This is not a happy day.
Yeah, it's that dude. Definitely that one. The detectives try to leave the hospital, but the corridors quickly turn into a terrifying maze instead. They eventually come across that happy days guy from Gregory's memories, getting his very own brain shot of happiness. Then a whole bunch of zombie-looking patients come out of the woodworks and start surrounding the detectives, who begin a very meandering escape through the hallways. For some reason they split up, but honestly, that might not have been in the script. Apparently, actor Michael-Vincent here was constantly drunk during production. He might have just wandered off by accident. Detective Maldwin, played by Lee Majors Jr., witnesses his own bevy of weird sights on his way out, like these pooping partners and this beard dude who's definitely rolling with his friend there. He eventually gets attacked by a bunch of inmates who he has to put down by throwing bows, and after he does, he manages to get outside where he calls in some backup. Gifford comes out, probably not remembering how he got there in the first place, and the two of them drive away together. Man, what the fuck was that whole sequence about even? The Rocketeers are out on their bikes when Gregory surprises them in the ice cream truck. Johnny and Heather get away, but Gregory pulls up alongside Tuna and spits out a halfway decent joke.
Trolling for Tuna.
Unfortunately, after ganking the kid off his bicycle and sticking him in the truck's freezer, he delivers a much less baked line.
Your ice cream.
Your ice cream? What? No, he's not. He's Tuna. Johnny and Heather get back to Johnny's place, where his brother is now willing to help, having seen the incriminating pictures from the ice cream truck. He doesn't have a great idea of how police force recruitment works, though.
I got the gun. The badge will follow.
He's also still working on that whole sympathy thing.
Let's just go help the fat kid while there's still time.
I like to think he hesitated there because he almost said, let's go help the kid with the pillow thing while there's still time. They drive to the ice cream place, where inside, Gregory is teaching Small Paul the ways of the Yellow King, or Ice Cream King. When they hear Jacob coming, it's back into the little cubby hole. Get in there! We know how you love that chain link fence, little Polly boy. As Jacob walks through the darkened room with a flashlight, we get a real classic pretending to be a framed picture gag, so Gregory can get the jump on Jake and kill him off screen. We never see what happens, or any kind of body afterward, but I think it's safe to say that Gregory killed him, because Jacob is never heard from again. Also, because a minute later, Gregory comes outside and gets in the car wearing Jacob's clothes.
Hiya, honey.
Janet screams, and Gregory don't like that, so he stabs her through the chin with an ice cream thing. It's not the best effect. You can see the top part doesn't move at all while it's ostensibly being driven in from the bottom, but it's still a fun kill nonetheless. Plus, Gregory delivers a good brain freeze joke afterward.
That's what I call brain freeze.
That makes it all better. The kids get out of the car and run away, but when they get to a cop car that's been stationed there, all they find inside is a headless corpse. Cause turns out, Gregory murdered Gus and Charlie, the two cops who were watching over him, and is now using their severed heads as fucking hand puppets to torment the kids with. It's like if Pee Wee Herman was played by, well, by Clint Howard.
I didn't know you cops had such a hearty sense of humor.
That's us.
Good humor. Shut up. You're not funny.
He actually carries those heads around for way longer than you'd expect as he chases Johnny and Heather throughout the yard. Hell, even after he drops one of them, he still carries the other one around for another solid minute of screen time. He finally gets rid of it after Nurse Wharton comes out and asks him what's going on. He tells her that he's playing hide and seek with some neighborhood kids, so later on, when the kids get to Nurse Wharton's and beg her for help, she tells them to hide inside, thinking it's part of the game.
Hide and seek, hide and seek.
Nurse Wharton, you so wacky. During all this, Tuna has somehow managed to fight his way out of the icebox, and he nearly escapes from the truck before Gregory sees him and grabs him again. That's when the detectives show up with their guns drawn, but neither their firearms nor their skin-tight jeans can stop Gregory from closing the truck door on Tuna and then feeding him disgusting melty ice cream in the front seat. Ah, it's so gross. Gregory finally gets rid of the cops by leaping from the top of his truck and knocking them both out with a couple of ice cream scoopers. After Nurse Wharton delivers the kids onto Gregory so he can win his game of hide and seek, things are looking pretty dire for the Rocketeers. That is, until Small Paul breaks out of his ice cream man infatuation and uses a flashlight and a photo of the Ice Cream King to take total control of Gregory Tudor. He's playing dangerous, but he gets Gregory to follow him, and as he does, the Ice Cream Man has various flashbacks to his time at Wishing Well. Gotta love those memories of getting reanimator serum plunged into your brain. Small Paul leads Gregory straight to that nut chopper machine and plugs it in. It starts up and pulls Gregory inside, killing the Ice Cream Man with a very slow motion churn. It's actually kind of disappointing as far as the kills in this movie go. You'd think it'd be a lot gorier, but I guess production couldn't get the slow-moving machine to look menacing enough. At least Small Paul gets a small joke in.
Who's the Pied Piper now, ice cream dick?
Haha, ice cream dick. The kids are rescued, and we see that the detectives survived their scuba-doo, but sadly, Nurse Wharton is still clueless as to the whereabouts of her dog. Poor Binky. An epilogue of sorts shows the kids sometime later, Tuna having finally gotten rid of his pillow weight. The gang initiates Roger into the Rocketeers, but it's not all happy times, because it sounds like Small Paul is in therapy, churning an ice cream machine and ending the movie with a creepy smile into the camera that becomes a brain freeze frame. Baskin-Robbins has 31 flavors. Could Gregory Tudor get 31 kills? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, this? It's grenadine for my ice cream treats. Only 9 people died in Ice Cream Man, quite a soft serving for such a bloody slasher. The victims included 7 men and 2 women, and maybe a little surprisingly, given the cast, none of them were kids. Go figure. With a runtime of 86 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average every 9.56 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Martin Casera. It's not the only decapitation, but it's the first decapitation, and it's got that waffle iron to the face as a lead-in. I just think this is the most iconic image from this movie. Dull machete for lamest kill could go to the off-screen stuff, but y'all get tired of that, so I'll give it to Gregory. A horror movie villain should have a much more exciting kill than this, especially one as creepy as the Ice Cream Man. And that's it. Ice Cream Man came out in 1995, and it quickly became one of my favorite B movies after I discovered it at a video store based on its cover. That's what we used to have to do with horror movies. It was pretty great. Next on this series is The Evil Dead, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this extra Kill Count. I want to thank a couple of patrons like Brett Grokey, Sweet Gabe, and Tyler Stankiewicz. Hope you guys have been enjoying the extra videos lately. Just so you know, this isn't going to become like a regular thing. I just like to put extra stuff out in October because more people happen to be watching the channel. In November, we're going to be back to 1 kill count a week. I need some sleep, you know? There will, however, be one more Sunday Kill Count next week. Be good people.